How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the Crypto ZX channel. You guys can tell by the title, we're going to be talking about everything XRP. Appreciate all your support. Looking across the market, as we are obviously, going into Tuesday morning, you're starting to see, some coins seeing a little bit of a minor pullback over the course of the last, few hours. But in the grand scheme of things, we cannot forget, what has been happening for the crypto space. A lot of green, a lot of excitement. The price of XRP is currently sitting at $2.28, down about 1.1% in USD and about 0.4% in Bitcoin comparative. Valuation at $133.4 billion and the 24-hour trading volume at about 3.7 billion. But before we get into any further, as always, just a quick disclaimer, anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. So I want to really start off by talking about the amount of searches that we're seeing in terms of Google Trends. So over the last 1 week, we're seeing a little bit of an uptick, for Google Trends searches. But, before everyone starts, jumping around and getting excited, a lot of people are searching, XRP. Believe it or not, that's not the case, because if you look at the last 90 days, we are still really, really low in a grand scheme of things for, searches worldwide for XRP. So what does this really show us? This is showing us that, there is a lack of retail interest as of now. It doesn't mean that, there's no retail interest at all. Of course, there's always retail interest, but, obviously in comparison to what we saw in Q4 and Q1 of this year, early Q1 of this year, we are nowhere near that. So, those are factors that, we shouldn't really be overlooking. But, over the past, 1.5 weeks, we know what has happened for the crypto markets as well. The market did see an uptick, which of course, when you do see market uptick, mainly it's driven by BTC. Let's just get that clear. Bitcoin has been retesting the 23.6 fib zone. Dominance is really high. So pretty much the reason as to why you are still seeing altcoins seeing such major gains is due to the fact that, Bitcoin has gone up and they have that positive correlation. But, in a grand scheme of things right now, this specific, overall run is driven by institutional interest. But, still market is turning back into the green, which of course I'm sure no one's really complaining. But let's get into the update. So some breaking news coming out of Canada. Shout out to the Canadians out there. I love each and every one of you guys. You guys can see this for yourself. It was a big day for Canada. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney leads Liberal Party to victory in Canada's 2025 election. The former Bank of England governor, known for his measured but critical stance on Bitcoin, has pledged to make Canada a leader in emerging tech. So now, guess what's happening? Last year, we saw Donald Trump winning the U.S. election. Now the neighbors, Mark Carney. Again, I know some of the Canadian fans are not going to be, because I was reading about this. Some people are not happy about this, but again, it is what it is. He has won. Again, I'm not sharing my personal political thoughts, but of course, when it comes to crypto stance, this is huge, because this is someone that has a positive outlook on, crypto. So now, as we are seeing regulatory clarity coming towards the crypto industry in the US, are we really going to see that happening under Mark Carney? I believe so. So, huge a moment for crypto once again. And, let's see what happens. Do let me know your personal thoughts down below if you're from Canada, what you personally think about this. But BlackRock spot Bitcoin ETF bought 10,360 Bitcoin worth $970.9 million on April 28th, marking its second largest inflows since its launch. They're buying. Bitcoin is being held by the big players. While, retail is focused on elsewhere, your big institutional money, smart money, is accumulating Bitcoin as fast as possible. You can see, BlackRock are holders and have conviction. Grayscale are weekends, which is quite funny to me. But look at this, guys. Ripple payments partner FOMO Pay is partnered with MasterCard through QR code rails, virtual ID numbers, no Swift routing numbers. So again, when it comes to Ripple, they're not partnered with some small entities. They're partnered with some big entities, and you can really see, which entities these guys are tending to work with. MasterCard here, you can see, these are some big names. So of course, you can really understand, where the potential really lies for, the blockchain industry. And of course, as we are seeing the demand rising, you really do see where, Ripple comes and solves the game. So very, very interesting on that standpoint. And look at this, Zoom says, yes, we are still in a bull market. Don't get shaken out. And, before Zoom has even said this, if you've been following my channel, from the get-go, this is something I've said on a day-to-day basis. Even when the market saw a major pullback, I was talking about how we're still in a bull market, and people were saying, you're crazy to say that. And here we are back in the 23.6 Fibonacci retracement level, and now, everyone is partying, everyone is jumping around, and I'm seeing some comments. I don't really like, obviously, pointing out who, but it's really funny to me because when market was plummeting towards the downside, and I was still saying, in a grand scheme of things, historically speaking, we're still in a bull market. Some of the people that were commenting that I'm crazy to think that we're in a bull market are now the moon boys, which again is the funniest thing to me. So it is what it is. We're still in this upward trajectory in a grand scheme of things. If you look at the valuation for the crypto market is, we are still in a bull market. So I totally agree with Zoom's overall take with this. And is Bitcoin about to see a new all-time high? Possibly. And again, if we do crack past an all-time high, that does mean that altcoin season could be coming right after that, because dominance is rising like crazy. So I don't see why Bitcoin cannot start heading towards an all-time high. But let's take a look at this. Citi said this last year. We're in the midst of a once-in-a-lifetime shift. The financial system is being rebundled around a digital architecture. Smart money is not taking this moment lightly, and neither should you. And now, this was said last year. Now we're starting to see that really taking place right in front of our eyes. But let's take a look at what's happening with the price now. If you're looking at the dominance itself here, let's take a look at it on an hourly aspect. You're looking at the dominance, still ranging, within this accumulation pattern pretty much since the 21st of April where we broke out of here. We're still in this range. So, dominance is still really, really high. If you're looking at BTC right now, Bitcoin did see a little bit of a minor pullback, nothing too crazy. We did go back above, 95,000 as mentioned earlier. We closed above 95. Bitcoin holding really good. So that's nice to see. If you're looking at XRP right now, still in this upward trajectory. Like I said, we hit a new yearly high in my last update. If you did end up watching it, if not, totally fine. We did end up hitting $2.35, as a new monthly high for the first time pretty much since late March. So, so far so good. XRP still holding really good. Obviously, we're facing some key resistance coming in our way. You want to see this resistance turning into support as stated before, for us to retest the 23.6. But we got to take it one step at a time. Let me know down below what you guys think. Love you all. See you later. Been Crypto ZX, and peace out.